Fuck, I accidentally clicked on Audacity instead of the fucking... Oh my god. I don't care if there's an update. I don't give a shit. Just let me leave. Hi, chat. How are we? How is everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Flappy, hey, what's up? Dragon Beast, hello. Danny, hello. Welcome in. How are you guys? How are you? How is everyone tonight? Hope y'all are doing good. I am doing okay. I'm still sick. But I'm here. I've been recovering the last few days. It was my mom's birthday yesterday, so I hung out with her most of yesterday. While I was sick. I hope I didn't get her sick. Who got here first? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't even in this room when stream started. I started it and then I went to go take care of something real quick. So I wasn't in here. Let me see if I can scroll up and check. Let me see if I can scroll up and check. My mom, not my grandma. Sorry. According to this thing, Dragon, you were first. According to YouTube, Dragon was first. It's so cute. It's like a little competition between you guys. Yeah, so I'm still a little sick, so if I'm like sniffling, a lot, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's my mom's birthday yesterday. And she was very happy to see me because I hadn't seen her in a hot second. Yeah. Tell you what, chat. We're gonna listen to some tunes. We might do some different ones from what we usually do. That's just like the same thing. Hang on, I'm gonna turn off my desktop audio because I just want to make sure that this is like actually good before I... Okay. Oh, well that one just sucks. Hang on. God, I can see why these are royalty free. These are ass. Oh my goodness. Okay, what if I just... Okay. Alright, I guess we're doing what our usual... I guess we're doing our usual chat. I guess we're doing the usual royalty-free beats that we've become so accustomed to in the last few days. Let me know if desktop audio is loud at all, and I can just adjust it. Flappy, are you dabbing in chat? Oh my god. Sorry, elbow cough. Dude. I just got a Discord notification saying fucking clanker. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because the fucking bot didn't do the message right. It still continues to fuck up. So I just said, the stupid clanker can't get the roll ping right. And then somebody else just goes, fucking clanker. I did. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still very much on the fence about playing a Souls game. I'm gonna be so honest. I'm still so on the fence about playing a Souls game. It seems like it would be fun, but I just don't think I would enjoy it. I'm gonna be so honest. I just really don't know if I would enjoy it. What are all these freaking... Okay. Oh my god. Sorry, that was loud. Jesus. Want a VC? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can I play what? Maybe, hang on. Is it like copyrighted? Is this stream gonna get shut down if I play it? Oh, okay, that's a... Oh my god. That's a thing. Okay, that's a game. Let me check it out. Jesus Christ. What is this? Okay. What is this? This gives me me side or my side vibes, honestly, a little bit. Oh wait, is this the one where it's like... Is this the one where it's like you can talk into the mic and it's like an AI, like, and like the whole thing is like trying to escape? So it is kind of like me side. Kind of. Is it? Or is this... Yeah. So like it's like totally cool if you hang out, but if you try to leave or escape, she's like, "No, I'm gonna kill you," or something like that. Yeah, Yandere AI girlfriend simulator. I might. Maybe not tonight, but I'll wishlist it. Why not? What even is on my wishlist? I gotta look. Oh yeah, okay. Chat. So I will be making the schedule shortly for the rest of the week. Oh god, I just burped. I hope nobody heard that. Ugh, god, that tastes disgusting. Do you guys ever have like when you can like taste your burp after you burp it? Ugh, that's so gross. Ugh. Oh my god. Ugh. What else do I have? Oh yeah, Alien Isolation. Okay, I think Alien Isolation, honestly, it's a tie between like Soma and Alien Isolation right now. Or, you know, actually, Fears to Fathom, Ironbark Lookout. That's another one that I've been looking for. That's another one. That's another one that I've been looking out for is Fears to Fathom, Ironbark Lookout. I think it's relatively short. Let me actually look up how long. Hang on. How long is it? Oh, okay. According to this, okay, like 2 hours. I could probably do this for a stream. What about? How long is Alien Isolation? This is a long game, isn't it? Okay, so completionist is 34 hours. Main story is 18.5. That is doable. I think I really want to save something like Ironbark Lookout for maybe like Halloween. But I do really want to play Alien Isolation, especially because I don't know, I haven't seen. Have any of you guys seen Behemoth? Have any of you guys seen what's it called? Alien Earth? Chat, let me know how it is. Let me know. I'm sorry. Let me know how it is. I would love to hear, because I haven't seen it yet. I do want to eventually, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I will definitely play Alien Isolation. I think that's probably what I'll do next, honestly. That's probably the plan, is to play Alien Isolation. And we'll blunder our way through that. I think Soma's probably next on the list. I think that's probably safe to say that that's next on the list. Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna burp again. Jesus Christ. God, I'm still so sick. Saw it with your dad. This place, It's Good Wait. We talked about this a while ago. We did? Was it on stream? I don't remember. I don't remember. There's the last week has been like just an absolute, hang on, has been like an absolute just like blur to me, honestly. It's been an absolute blur, chat. Like it's been a little rough. It's been fine, but it's been a little rough. Oh my god. Oh, okay, yes, I do remember this conversation. I do remember this conversation. I do remember it. Definitely 100%. Definitely. Yeah, it looks good. It looks amazing. I do appreciate how I saw that it was like how there's like multiple different aliens in it, and how it's not just like xenomorphs. How like there is a xenomorph and there is a facehugger, but there's also like a few different ones. They're not like, I mean, there's no like predators in it. As far as I know, there's no like predators in it, but it's like there's like one or two other like different random alien species that are kind of like in it throughout so far. I don't know. Romulus, dude, Romulus was such a good movie though. My favorite character was the android. I love just how well like the personality switch was portrayed when he put like the chip to access like the different door. Like he put like the other chip in his brain, and then it made him all like smart and like not stupid. I don't really know how else to put it, but like but like, I mean, before he was all like stuttery and like he was actually like more like human. He was all stuttery and nervous, and he was like, I think they said he was like quote unquote defective or something. But then when he put like the chip in his brain, then he suddenly wasn't like defective. And then they're like, okay, we gotta take it out of you now. And he was like, nah, I don't think I want you to do that. I don't think I want you to do that. I would rather be this. Yeah, Romulus was very good. Romulus was amazing. I still don't know if it was my favorite Alien movie. I don't really know what my favorite one is. Probably, honestly, like the main Alien movies, my favorite is probably, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe like, oh shoot, I don't know. Probably the first one, honestly. Yeah, probably the first movie is my favorite. Prometheus though is my favorite of like the newer ones. Probably Prometheus is my favorite. Covenant was okay. Romulus was great, but I still think I like Prometheus better. Because David is just amazing. It's kind of funny how most of the time, you know what would be cool? Like, rating... Okay, actually, wait, guys. Let's rate the Alien movies based on the synthetics that were in each Alien movie, okay? Let me... Actually, I wonder if there's, like, a tier list for this. Hang on, let me look. Alien movie... Is this a thing? Okay, I don't know. Hang on. Okay, so there's one of these in Earth, which I haven't seen. I don't know. Okay. Alright, chat. Tell you what. We're gonna do a tier list. Okay? Let me see... Chat, we're doing a tier list. Alright. Hang on. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure... Is this the right one? Okay, perfect. Alright, here we go. I think these need to be updated. I think these little things need to be updated. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know. Hang on a second. Okay, you... Windows... The dinosaur game. Okay. Alright. Ignore the ads. Alright, chat. So, okay, so there are two of these. I think Kirsch and whoever this one is, I think we're from Alien Earth. So, I don't know. So, we're just gonna... Tell you what. Wait, can I, like... Hang on. I wonder if I'll be able to... I just, like... I kind of just want to, like, make it, like, just a tier list. I think that's the biggest it'll go. Maybe? No, yeah, that's the biggest it'll go. God damn it. Okay. Fucking hell. Okay, fine. You can have your ads in the video, I guess. Okay. Alright, chat. So, this is really hard to see. I wonder if I can just... God, I really want to do it this way, because this is the way that I usually do it. Fuck it. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna do this. Can I, like... Bruh. That's my settings? Hello. That's not what I was trying to do. Okay, here we go. Alright, chat. Here we go. Here we go, chat. So, first off, I don't know Kirsch. For those of you who've seen Alien Earth, tell me how Kirsch is. Tell me what Kirsch's deal is. Tell me if he's cool. First, I guess we could just start with like the other ones. We'll save these guys for last. Ash, S tier. The original. Ash is S tier. Ash is so S tier. Oh, see, a lot of these are S tier though. I don't know. Bishop was also so cool. God damn it. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think I like Bishop better than Ash. So I'm gonna put Ash in, or no, Bishop in S tier, Ash in A tier. All right. Cause I do like Bishop better than Ash. This is kind of a short tier list. Rook, wasn't this the guy in what's it called? Or no, this was the guy in Aliens, right? Wasn't he the one that was all torn up, or was that also Ash? What was Rook? Hang on a second. I love how there's just all this like random shit. That's just okay. It is Romulus. All right. Yeah, he was the one in Romulus that he got the chip from. So I'm gonna say, I don't know. He was kind of just like Walmart Ash, or like Ash from Temu, so he'll go here. Oh god. See, now this is just, I don't know, because I love all of these guys. I guess if we're saying like Andy, like how he usually is, like the quote-unquote defective Andy, I guess we'll put him in I don't know, chat. A or B tier? What are we thinking? What are we thinking, chat? A or B tier? What are we thinking, chat? Oh my god. Ugh. Jesus. I'm probably leaning more towards A tier. Honestly, that's probably, yeah. Yeah, I think A tier's good. I think A tier's what's up. I think A tier's very much what's up. Hello, Twitch. Why are you not working? Twitch, can you please work? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I think A tier's good for. Okay. All right, chat. Hear me out. Hear me out, chat. David, S tier. Walter is A tier, and not the other way around. I love Walter, but I love David so much more. For the same exact reason that I love Ash. Because they're both just assholes. And they're both like, Ash is like a little different. Ash is like, dude's actually doing it for like the quote unquote like good of, you know, the company, humanity, whatever. Whereas David is just doing it for himself. I like, and Bishop was actually nice. And David, I think Bishop is the best, like good guy android, and David's the best bad guy android. I think honestly, I really think that David is the best bad guy android. And then these two, I don't know. I haven't seen Romulus, so I can't really. If he's written good, I guess I'll put him in. I don't know. Okay, but is he like a good guy or a bad guy? Like, does he like care when the xenomorph's trying to kill the people, or is he like trying to help him? I guess. Like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I have no idea who this other one is. Who's? Hang on. Is it? Who is this other one? I just like, I don't know who this one is. Oh, this is Resurrection? I don't remember. Okay, well, it's been so long since I've seen Resurrection. I don't know. Resurrection was dog shit. So I'll put her in C tier, just for that. I guess Kirsch can go in B tier. Yeah. All right. Oh my. Well, now this makes me want to do it like a Xenomorph tier list. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Now, does this have like does this have like the ones from the comics and shit? Okay, so this has some from like the comics. Some of these I don't know. Are these like the... Okay, yeah, so some of these I don't know, so some of these are going to be a little tricky. But I should... Okay. Okay, so these are all like the movie ones. I see a few video game ones in here as well, but let me just turn the window back on. Okay, here we go. All right, chat. Here we have a Xenomorph tier list. First off, I think this is this like the original, or is this this is the original? So the original, S tier. Is this the one from, like, a lot of these like aren't very clear pictures and they don't really have, okay, cool. I think, is this the, this one right here is like the Queen Chestburster that Ripley has before she jumps into a pot of lava. So D tier because it never actually does anything. Is this supposed to be like the Romulus one? I don't know. This is the one that is like the clone. This is the cloned queen. I remember that from Resurrection. And she gets killed, so again, that's D tier. I feel like, was that a facehugger? There's like why are there different facehuggers on here? What the fuck? There are like different facehuggers on here. There are different facehuggers on here. I mean, you can't go wrong with the facehugger, so tell you what, we'll put all the facehuggers in A tier. We will put all the facehuggers. We're not even gonna bother with the fucking facehuggers. Like why would we? We'll do like the facehugger, I guess, because you can't really do more than that. I think this is the Romulus one. The Romulus one was pretty cool. I'll put it in A tier. I'll put it in A tier. Right, but it's all kind of the same, I guess. Newborn, C tier. That thing looked cool, but it was just weird. I didn't really like it. Wait, did we cover the dog Xenomorph? Where's the dog Xenomorph? I don't see the dog Xenomorph. Unless that's right somewhere. Is it this one? Dog Xenomorph was pretty cool. I'll put it in B tier. I don't know, these pictures kind of suck. If I could zoom this in, I would. Alright, so then we got the warriors from AVPR. AVPR was dog shit, and these warriors didn't really do anything. So I guess we'll do... yeah. We'll do C tier. The warriors were cool, but yeah. What is this one supposed to be? Oh, okay, that's just the facehugger that one of the predators killed. Or the chest. I love all the chestbursters so far have been D tier. Ooh, okay. Speaking of, first chestburster to not be D tier, Predalien chestburster. I love it. That was the best part of the first AVP movie. Yeah, so like the runner dog xenomorph is from 3. I know that. Oh, okay. Grid from AVP 1. Goat. He was awesome. Generic warrior from like AVP, I guess. They were cool. I like the knife tails, but outside of that, they kind of sucked. This one's the queen from AVP. She was pretty cool. Again, I guess I'll put her in B tier. Now this is, what is this one? Is this just like another warrior from AVPR? Dog shit. Again, that movie was terrible. So, this is it's just like another chest burster from like another warrior alien from I know this is AVPR because I remember there was like the dudes who were like out hunting in the forest, and then they came upon like the crashed ship, and then like the facehuggers got him. Predalien, S tier. Predalien will always be S tier in front of the original. Predalien will always be my favorite xenomorph. Oh yeah, the hammerhead worms! I remember this little fucker. I remember this little dude. A tier. He's such a little goober. He's a little goober. Trilobite. Gross. Disgusting. For those of you who haven't seen Prometheus, they decided to keep this scene in for some reason, but there's a very, very gross alien birth scene, and it involves this guy when he's still a fetus, and it's disgusting. The design is cool, but his offspring didn't do anything, so, and his birth scene was like, it wasn't even like gnarly, it was just gross. So I'm gonna put him in C tier. He looked cool though. Five-field mutant. Why are there 2 five-field mutants in here? Why are there 2 five-field mutants? I don't know. It was alright, I guess. Wasn't really a xenomorph. I don't know why he's in there. I mean, it's a black goo byproduct, so I guess it counts. I feel like this is just the Alien 1 chest burster, right? And by that virtue, he goes right to the top. Oh, okay. Speaking of Trilobite, next up we have the Deacon Xenomorph. This is the one that was at the very end of Prometheus. It looked cool in concept, but they never actually followed it up with anything. Like, literally, so in the sequel comic to Prometheus, that Xenomorph just turns into a giant, like, flesh mountain. It doesn't even do anything. So, Deacon, C tier. Unfortunately, with the rest of the Prometheus aliens. Again, that's just a facehugger. Covenant Protomorph, A tier. That thing was cool. It was huge. That thing was fucking huge. Check Discord. Hi Warlock, how are you? Check Discord? Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. I'll watch it when I can, I promise. Okay. That's just the chest burster for the, again, like, in Alien Covenant, this xenomorph is so big, and its chest burster is literally just like a smaller, like, grown xenomorph. It's literally like it's so cool. Oh, speaking of Covenant, Neomorph, A tier as well. The Covenant Xenomorphs are incredible. They're amazing. Like, Covenant was a weird movie. Covenant was a really weird movie, but the Xenomorph designs were cool, at least, I guess. If that's kind of the only really thing it had going for it, but I guess the Neomorph chest burster, or sorry, back burster can go in A tier as well. Facehugger, facehugger, facehugger. Fucking belly burster from AVPR. Ew. I don't know what this one is. Okay, well, and now, and see, now it's starting to get into, like, the video games, too, which I didn't really play a lot of these. The one that I played was, like, the AVP video game from 2010, which was a pretty fun game, but I think I only played it, like, twice before I really, before I did anything. I remember it had a Predalien, this one right here. Fun boss fight, but it's not the original, so it doesn't deserve S tier like the original did. I'll put it in B tier, I guess. B tier needs to be filled out a little more. Right, what do we got next? Some other video game ones that I haven't played. I'm trying to see what the others are here. Video game. These are all from video games. Oh my god. Oh, is this the Isolation Xenomorph? Peak. S tier. Isolation Xenomorph is S tier. Just trying to sort through the ones that, like, are video games, because I see a lot of these that are just video games. Like, a lot of, I think some of these are just like Dead by Daylight Xenomorph skins, which is a little weird. Okay, so this is the Romulus Xenomorph, right? Or, like, these two are? Or one of these must be the Alien Earth one, I don't know. Romulus Xenomorph, pretty cool. I guess we'll put him in A tier. I don't know. Okay, so this one right here is like the runner, like, chest burster. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we'll put him in B tier. He didn't really do anything. I feel bad for that dog though. Jesus Christ. Hello Rima, how are you? How are you doing? Yeah, I probably will. Actually, no, I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna do a Predator tier list after this. Okay, so next up we have the Queen Facehugger from Alien 3. Didn't really do much. I'll put it in B tier, I guess. Ooh! Mortal Kombat Xenomorph! This one was cool. I liked this one. I liked how it interacted with all the different species. Like, all the different, like, Outworld species. Looks really cool. We have, like, another... We have, like, the other generic one, I guess. And then, again, these are all just other video game ones that I haven't seen. Okay, now we have... I think this might be the... Again, these are all just, like, variations and stuff. And from video games that I haven't played, so I can't really judge on that. This fucking thing? A tier? Nah. Yeah, we'll do... God, there's a lot of them in A tier. A tier because of how just terrifying it was. It was so creepy, dude. It was so creepy. I'm surprised the engineer's not on this list. Because, like, if the frickin', like, if the Fifield mutant is on this list, I feel like the engineer should be, but whatever. Yeah, no, this one was... Romulus was a great movie, and this thing was creepy as hell. It was better than the Newborn. I think the Newborn looked better, but this thing I did more and was not as just weird. So, yeah, I think that goes. I think that goes well. Again, and so all these other ones... Oh my god, I forgot number 6. Okay, number 6 was the playable Xenomorph in the AVP game that I mentioned earlier. Number 6 was cool. Number 6 is S tier. Number 6 is S tier, definitely. Because number 6, like, actually had a personality. And that made that made her really cool. Yeah, the Predalien, yeah, Predalien on top. Predalien is always number 1. Predalien's always number 1. Predalien is always number 1 to me. I love the Predalien. It's the coolest. It's just the coolest concept. It's like you take these two polar opposite warring species and you mash them up and you get a fucking Predalien. It's so cool. It's so gnarly. And then again, like, all these other ones are from, like, video games and shit that I didn't play, so I wouldn't know. And then there's just, like, the face huggers. It's like, why would you rank the face huggers? Except for, I guess, the queen face hugger. And the original. Those are the only ones I have on this list here. Okay, so now, let me go ahead and yoink. If this is gonna be like, I just want to make sure that this one doesn't have all the, like, the comic ones. Okay, but does this have the original? These aren't even sorted. I'm just gonna sort these real quick, just so I have them, I guess. You're not in the right place. The fuck? Neither are you. Oh. Okay, you go here. Okay, I think this is... Okay, so far... Alright, perfect. Yeah, Grid... Yeah. 6 became a queen, and then that was the queen that you fought in... Did you fight that queen in like the Marine campaign or the Predator campaign? I'm pretty sure the Predator campaign's final boss was the Predalien. The number 6 final boss, I think, was like some dude in like one of like the power loader suits. And I'm pretty sure the queen was some queen was the final boss of the fire team. Or like the Colonial Marine guy. I don't know. But anyways, here's the Predator tier list. We've got a little less choices because these are the actual like movie ones. And this is gonna be, as a result, this is gonna be shorter. Jungle Hunter, S tier. I liked him. Simple, effective, cool kills. 6's boss was a Predator. Okay. Oh, right! Yeah, because that was the Predator that 6 then, like, attached a facehugger to. And then that birthed the Predalien that the Predator fought as his final boss, right? Am I right? Yeah, Grid was cool. Grid was cool. City Hunter... A tier, I guess. He was pretty cool, too. As, like, a first for that, you know, as the one for that movie, he was pretty cool. I liked all the different tech that he had. It was definitely, like, I mean, this one, City Hunter was the first Predator to have, like, more tech, rather than just the cloaking device, and the wrist blades, and the plasma cannon. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Okay, so now it's the AVP Predators. This one was cool because he actually fought a Xenomorph for longer than 2 seconds. This one was okay. He was the only one that survived, but he didn't really do, like, he didn't fight, I mean, he fought a queen, I guess. But again, he only did that with help. And he didn't fight a single Xenomorph for longer than this guy did. So I like this guy better, honestly. And then this guy, rest in piss. He got killed, like, instantly. That was the first Predator to die, I'm pretty sure. Then there's the Elder. Like, he didn't really do anything. He just showed up for 2 seconds and just kind of... Okay, now this one. This was the one from AVPR, I think. Was it? Yeah, this was the one from AVPR. This was, like, the professional, like... This was like the seasoned veteran one. He was badass. S tier easily. Oh my god, I'm so sick, dude. S tier easily for that one. He was cool. He had 2 plasma cannons. That was really cool. That was so cool how he just had 2 of them for some reason. Ooh, okay. So now these were the 3 that were in the 2010 movie. They were all cool. I liked this one because this one was like the samurai predator. Or the one that was kind of the closest one. He had like the drones. He was pretty cool. I'll put him in A tier. And this one was cool because he had the hunting dogs. And those hunting dogs look pretty badass. I'll put him in B though because I don't know. He didn't really do much besides just throw some hunting dogs at people. Yeah, so in Predator 2, right, because that's when they gave the dude, like, the pistol from, like, the 1700s, right? And then in Prey... Oh my god, this list is outdated. This list doesn't have the feral predator. From hang on. I gotta find one that's, like... recent. Okay, well, this is just like the movies. Okay, that's just the movies. Honestly, this is right. This is right. Well, I would have put AVP in B tier, but whatever. So they're missing... Is this all of them? What the hell is that one? I'm not sure. Some of these are in, like, Predator 2. Okay, there are some of these from the comics, I guess. Okay. Tell you what, we're gonna copy some of these over. So the Jungle Hunter obviously goes in S tier. Where is he? There you are. Then we have the City Hunter. Did I put him in S tier? No, I put him in A tier. And then we have the AVP Predators. So we've got this one. Did I put him in B tier? No, I put him in A tier. Then we had this guy that died instantly, C tier. Then we had this guy who didn't really do much, but he was the only one that survived, so I guess by that virtue he's in B tier. Prey is amazing. Prey is the best. I think Prey is the best film in the entire franchise. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's better than the first one, but it's definitely close. It's definitely close. Close. Okay, so then we had the Predators ones from 2010. A tier. Did I put him in A tier? I did put him in A tier. And then B tier for the one with the hunting dogs, because he didn't really do much. And then C tier for the one with the jaw. He was the coolest, but he didn't really do much. Again, he didn't really do much. He kind of just like stood around and bossed the other two around. And then he did have a final fight, and he did kill the one that was like held captive in their camp or whatever, but he didn't really do much. Wolf S tier. That's his name, right? Hang on. Is this the right one? Am I remembering that right? I am remembering that right. Okay, word. Alright. So then we have... Yeah, I think they all were. I'm pretty sure they all were. I'm gonna do all the movie ones first, and then we'll get into the comics, because the comic ones are a little different. So... Oh my god! I remember this guy! Did you guys ever hear of Predator Concrete Jungle? It was a video game way back when. I think it was 2010? Hang on. Was it 2010? Let me look. What was this one? Holy shit! That's insane that that game costs so much now. 2005. Right, so this one had like a predator that got like banished or something? Something like that? And then Okay, yeah, so... Right, okay, so this one's called Scarface. This one, like, kills a mob boss and then gets exiled because he gets exposed or something. Yeah, this one was really cool. I never played the game, but, like, I had an action figure. I had an action figure of him. He was so cool. He was so cool. I'm gonna put him in an A tier, just because I never really played the game, so I wouldn't really know. I'll put him in B, honestly. Now this one, oh no, hang on, we gotta do the movies first. So this was The Elder and Predator 2. Didn't really do much. I'll put him in B tier. What is this one? I don't know what this one's supposed to be. I'm not really sure. I don't really know which one that one is. Then we've got this one, S tier. I loved Prey. Prey was an incredible movie, and the Predator in it was no different. He was awesome. The design was so cool, dude. The design was so freaking cool. Okay, so now we have... Oh, God. Now we have the two from the worst Predator movie ever. The worst Predator movie. Not the worst AVP movie. The worst Predator movie. Which was these two. The designs were cool. But this one didn't really do anything. I really liked the design for this guy. I think the movie weighed down the quality of the Predators in the movie, honestly. I really think... But, yeah, the movie was ass. The movie was terrible. The movie was terrible. But the Predator designs were okay. I'm gonna put him... I'll put him in C tier, I guess. He was cool. Actually, no. I'll put him bottom of B tier. I'll put him bottom of B tier. Okay, so now we have two more comic ones, and then we have another video game one. This was the one... This is the one that was in the video game, 2010 video game, right? Am I right? Yeah, this is the one from the 2010 video game. I don't really remember much about that game, but he seemed pretty cool. I loved... don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. It's so bad. I mean, if you want to watch a terrible Predator movie with decent... The effects were good, but the writing was terrible, and that's really what ruined it for me. It was just a bad movie. It was just a really bad movie. But this guy was in the video game, which was really cool. I loved being able to use, like, all the different equipment and stuff that, like, they can use. I'm gonna put him in A tier, because he's right here. This one I don't really know. I think this one just got, like, killed, like, in one comic run. I think he's just a random miscellaneous Predator. I don't really know. So I'll put him in D tier. But this one was cool. Let me tell you what this one did. I'm gonna move out of the way a little bit. Actually, no, let me just show you. Let me just show you what this one did. This was in the Predator Fire and Stone comic book series. This guy was so fucking cool. He was like Wolf Predator on steroids. He had like an engineer gun as a weapon. And, cause like, he fought an engineer. He fought an engineer and he killed it. It was so cool. Let me show you. Let me show you. So, right, so this one fights an engineer and wins, like, barely. Because the engineer, like, beats the crap out of him. But then he, like, sets off, like, a bomb or something. He blows something up. He blows something up, and then he kills it. Like, he kills it by blowing up its, like, ship or something. And then he's like, oh, I have the skull as my trophy now. And then, so I guess he kills it? But, I don't know. Still, it's still really cool. The comic book series is amazing. They did very good. They did very well with those comics. Those were, like, actually incredible. This guy, Giga Chad, he's going in S tier. Giga Chad. He's going in S tier, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, don't bother watching the 2018 one unless you just want to see a terrible Predator movie. Yeah, so I mean, he might have. Yeah, he might have played it. I know I did when I was younger. I don't remember when I played. I think I played it. Oh god, that was back when I had my 360. So that was shit. Maybe I don't know. 2016? Maybe 2016? I think? I don't know. It was either 2015 or 2016. Alright, peace, have a good one. See you later. Bye. Yeah, okay, so let me cue this video up. Does it have like is this like comics too? Because I haven't read any of the comics, so I wouldn't know. Alright, let me turn the Spotify music off. Spotify, shut up. Shut up, Spotify. Alright, this is okay, what do we got here? I think some of these are like comics or something, but I don't know. We'll find out. Wart. The real best alien.
One species that took the title as the perfect organism, the xenomorph. However, across its many terrifying appearances in movies, games, and comics, this big chap has come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. From genetically engineered xenos, engineered xeno hybrids, and even a xenomorph goddess. This is every single kind of xenomorph in the main age.
I have to look. Does this one have Eldon in it? I'm gonna see if this one has Eldon in it. Because Eldon, well, no, I guess not. Because Eldon was a synthetic that got infected by the black goo. So I guess he doesn't really count.
Alien story and their life cycle. And so, of course, we have to start at the beginning.
But Eldon was from like the comic books. I think it was the same comic book run that one like really badass like Giga Chad Predator was from. The one that fought the engineer.
They're a complete organism in their own right, engineered to be incredibly durable and almost indestructible. They've been shown to survive being dropped from tall buildings, and even at 3 times Earth's gravity, they remain their integrity without harming the facehugger inside. Talking of the inside, you'll find a massive fleshy and stringy ligaments which play a role in sustaining the facehugger, as these eggs can keep them alive for hundreds or even thousands of years without any external nutrients.
Lovely.
This is due to a unique process where the egg locks its energy-generating acidic blood into stable salts that decay very slowly. That being said, ovomorphs aren't immortal, as they do eventually expire, as seen in Alien when Kane fell and hit an egg directly, yet it didn't react and hatch. Bringing us onto how these things are even capable of knowing when a potential host is nearby in the first place. You see, each overmorph has a rudimentary central nervous system connected to thermo and pressure sensitive veins on the surface. This system allows the egg to sense when a suitable host is nearby, possibly even tasting it like a snake's tongue.
Oh,
In
that's
fact,
lovely.
in the Alien Resistance comic run, Wayland Yutani used xenomorph DNA to upgrade the Franklin model synthetic. As a result, they could effectively smell breathing. Thus, it could be a similar method
Okay.
for xenomorphs too. Regardless, once a host is detected, the egg springs into action, unlocking the stored energy and activating the facehugger, which springs out from the opening at the top.
Oh,
This
that's
effectively
lovely.
kills the overmorph, as all of its remaining energy is then given to the facehugger. However, if the egg determines that the detective life form isn't a viable host, it can reseal itself and wait for a better one. In some cases, these eggs are found surrounded by a bluish mist capable of interfering with radio communications. Whilst it's unknown exactly
that's what that was.
what this mist does,
Oh.
the most logical
Okay.
working theory is that it acts similar to a spider's web, and so when something trips it, it awakens the hive. This is why, despite dozens of xenodrones being in the Romulus lab, they never appeared until the blue mist was triggered. But of course, as we've briefly mentioned, with each egg comes a facehugger, the first stage of the Xeno life cycle capable of injecting pure fear into a person. And to make things worse, there's multiple different versions capable of birthing more powerful xenomorphs, but we'll get into them in just a bit. As aside from its nightmarish design triggering an unfathomable amount of phobias I didn't even know I had, the facehugger's job is to deliver a mutagenic substance
imagine-
called Pagierus praepotens, which creates
Imagine getting one of those and just feeling that like thing just like get shoved down your throat. And I will not be made fun of about that, because I know exactly what some of you are gonna say.
Detection to find its host, facehuggers can quickly jump on a victim.
Yum.
Often before
That's
they
from
can even
AVP.
react. Now, once a facehugger clings to its prey, it's practically GG at that point. Not only do they grip tightly to the host's head to the point where you can barely remove them without causing serious bodily damage, the simple act of removing one can cause death regardless, as the facehugger becomes the host's source of oxygen and actually breathes for them using their air sacs. Furthermore, if they feel they are going to be removed early, a facehugger will often react accordingly. For example, there's been at least one medically documented case of a facehugger killing its host via chemical overdose during removal, that being John Marichuk at Hadley's Hope. Alternatively, they can simply just do internal damage or the obvious strangulation. However, Rain successfully froze a facehugger's lower body, subsequently forcing its tail to go limp, allowing them to remove it from Navarro safely. That being said, once the facehugger is in place, it injects a proboscis down the host's throat, delivering a potent
H.R. Geiger
sedative
art.
that renders them unconscious almost immediately. And even in some cases where a split second is all a facehugger can get to get the job done, that's all it needs. As in the Alien Defiance comic, Dr. Hollis was impregnated almost instantly without even knowing. Nonetheless, when the facehugger has done its job, it gets a well-deserved permanent rest, as they detach from the host and die almost instantly. However, there are examples of facehugger failures, yet ones that have just left their egg to get the job done only to mess it all up. In the 40th anniversary special short, Alien Alone, a synthetic model named Hope bought one out of cryosleep, but because there was no organic life on board of the ship, the facehugger and Hope had no choice but to basically become besties. During that time, she kept a close eye on the creature, studying it, noticing how the facehugger had no method of taking in any sustenance, but conserved its energy well and was impervious to the deadly chemicals slowly flooding the ship.
That's
In spite
so
of this,
weird.
a facehugger's life cycle, by design, is supposed to be short, as they're meant to latch onto a host basically straight away. That's how their natural life cycle has evolved. Nonetheless, in instances where they're left to fend for themselves, they can last up to a few days before their bodies begin to shut down. As for how to actually kill one of these, whilst it may seem easy, as you can just burn or shoot them, you better get it done quick, because whilst they of course move frighteningly fast, they
That
also
part in
move
Romulus was really
Those
creepy.
cuts and
When it was like the
lacerations close up
hallway
within
with like
minutes
just all the
without leaving a
facehuggers in
scar.
it.
Furthermore, facehuggers are capable of attaching to pretty much any host, from humans to cattle, dogs, or even cats. Those that are somehow lucky enough to survive the implantation process have gone on record of seeing a terrifying nightmare of the deepest, darkest black they've ever seen, where inside is the same kind of xenomorph. She's a queen amongst lepers, a
The
goddess amongst maggots. violence, the nearest thing to true evil that exists.
All right, Rima, have a good one. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Claimed the xenomorph goddess represents the inevitable end result of humanity's encounter with the alien species and the subsequent pathogen. She believes that humanity, in its arrogance, will eventually seek to.
I never read this comic, so I don't know this.
One woman unlucky enough to experience this firsthand was Lee. She was bitten by an insect that had been genetically modified by the black goo pathogen, which, like what happened in Prometheus, turned her into an almost zombified shell of her former self. Unlike those in Prometheus, though, she lived long enough to mutate beyond human recognition and eventually became a xenomorph goddess, capable of leading xenomorphs under her own command.
Lovely.
In fact, she was so powerful that Lee, during her mutation, was even able to survive a nuclear blast. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, as there's plenty more xenomorph variants you've probably never heard of coming up. But to understand them, we of course have to talk about the iconic chest bursters. By this point, they're beginning to resemble the full final form of the xenomorph. However, they're smaller and more worm-like, slithering from point A to point B.
Bruh. Right when it was getting interesting, man.
Once they're burst out of a host, they tend to seek safety almost immediately so that they can grow and shed their skin by consuming organic materials and metals to increase their mass. That being said, a chestburster can be deadly in their own right, easily capable of brutally killing anyone it deems a threat using their teeth, or in some cases, using their small arms. Now, these creatures develop inside an amniotic sac,
little T-Rex arms,
absorbing nutrients through an umbilical cord. Due to a process called DNA reflex, chestbursters can inherit traits from their host species, usually absorbing 10 to 15% of their host's DNA, leading to some of the variations in this video. But one of the best, albeit not canon examples, is the Predalien from
What do you mean not
Predator,
canon? Okay.
which was born with mandibles and dreadlocks.
Hey, hang on. Okay, so from what I know, right, when it comes to like the two timelines, right? So I guess when he's talking about just aliens, this is true that this is not canon. So because aliens are canon to the Predator universe, but predators are not canon to the Alien universe. So AVP is canon to Predator, but not to Alien, which is really weird, and I don't know why those two things are not mutually exclusive. I don't know, but
9 times out of 10, though, when a chestburster is born by a human, it will result in the standard
yeah,
xenomorph drone.
AVP is non-canon to Alien, but it is canon to Predator.
Drone, and that is once they shed their skin, they enter a cocooned state to grow rapidly like a caterpillar. That being said, the cocoon itself is also alive and capable of defending itself with a long, sharp appendage capable of severely damaging a human. Once it's ready to exit the cocoon, the main features Xenos take on from the human host
actually, yes, they did, because so this was actually how terrible the new Predator movie was, or the one in 2018. Watch this. Where is it? God damn it. There was a part in this movie that made those movies canon to Predator, and I remember people were freaking out about it. Yeah, so they're canon to Predators, but not Alien. There's this one. Oh my god, where is it? Do I have to seriously go on fucking Google for this? Predator 2018 AVP reference. There's this really cool. It's only there for like a split second. Where is it? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this right here, right? So, well, this was like, it was part of it. I can't, why isn't it showing like what I'm actually trying to look for? I know there's a part in this movie where it shows like the spear that the Elder Predator gave to Lex in AVP, like in like a glass thingy. And it has like one of the plasma casters or something. Let me just like Predator, AVP. Da, 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 da. Predator. The Predator. Here we go. Where is it? God, it's not even. Okay, so I swear to God, there's this one part in that movie that like canonizes. Hang on. So again, like, it's Predator is so this is like what I said. Is my fucking okay? My toggles aren't up. It's really weird and it's really convoluted, but from what I know, AVP is canon to Predator, but it's not canon to Alien. So, anyways.
Though they can move just as effectively on all fours as well. But once they reach full maturity, they are not just physically imposing, but incredibly strong. They can overpower and subdue humans easily, and even break down metal doors when in groups. But of course, their tails are also particularly deadly. They've even adopted an almost perfect defense mechanism in the form of their acidic blood, which can melt through multiple floors of a spaceship, or in some cases, a drone can even spit acid at an enemy. What's more is that when these creatures are killed by massive trauma or fire, their highly pressurized blood causes them.
I'm telling you, it's not. I don't think it's an Easter egg. I think it's like an actual. Also, in Predator 2, you do see a xenomorph skull. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna like argue about it or anything because that's stupid. But as far as I know, Predator is canon, or Alien is canon. The aliens are canon to Predator. AVP is canon to Predator, but not Alien. Because Ridley Scott is weird. I don't know.
Them to explode, showering the area with molecular
I don't know.
acid.
He's a weird guy.
Dealing with them. But of course, the most iconic weapon in their arsenal is the inner jaw. Listen, you don't need me to explain this. We all know it. We all love it. It's one of the reasons that the xenomorph became one of the most famous, if not the most famous, sci-fi monsters of all time. However, one of the more common misconceptions is that xenomorphs aren't that smart and are more of an instinctual killer like an animal. But this couldn't be further from the truth, as they are surprisingly intelligent. Xenomorphs have been modifying their combat tactics based on the situation, using stealth and ambushes when necessary, knowing when to coordinate attacks as a group, like when they use the air vents and aliens to sneak around, and even when to cut the power to weaken Marines on Acheron. In addition to this, we saw in Alien Resurrection just how clever they...
Bruh. What is this, a lightsaber?
Really can be,
Man.
as not only did a small group of drones decide to group up and kill another to use his acidic blood to create an escape route from the cage, but they also used the button to fill the room up with freezing cold nitrogen to kill the guard watching over them. Now, moving on, you'd be forgiven if you thought these two xenomorphs were both drones. However, that's not the case. This one here is actually what's called a xenomorph warrior. However, they were originally one and the same, with the name warrior simply just being what James Cameron called the original Alien. In fact, in the original version of Aliens, a xenomorph drone was going to be present. However, it was totally different to what we now know as a drone. They would be white in color and have an excreting probe instead of their iconic inner
I remember
jaw,
those
their
ones,
main
the weird like
purpose
mouse
being to
xenomorph.
clean and
I remember
hide
that thing.
rather than fight and kill. Nonetheless, as time went on and alien lore expanded, drones and warriors eventually diverged and became their own thing. Aliens Fireteam Elite does a really good job of differentiating these two beasts, because whilst they do retain some of the characteristics of the OG drone from the original Alien script, like tending to the hive, the modern day drone is more of a silent killer, happy to hide in the shadows and ambush an enemy before going back into hiding, whereas a warrior is more violent and built for killing. Now, these xenomorphs are way more resilient than you probably would have ever realized, because as revealed in Alien Romulus, after Ripley fired the big chap into space with a harpoon, it survived. It had no need for any kind of sustenance and instead floated through the vast pit of darkness to the point that it began to fossilize. Eventually, Weyland-Yutani retrieved it from the Nostromo remains where they ran tests on it. That being said, it soon reawakened and wreaked havoc on the Renaissance ship before then eventually meeting its demise. What if a facehugger attaches to a quadruped rather than a bipedal host? Well, that would be the xenomorph runner, aka dragon.
Yep, they called it the dragon, they called it the runner.
Ox and or dog, depending on what version you watch. But in the comics, we've even seen them come from cooker and goats and more. Now, originally, the runner we see in Alien 3 was meant to be a dog dressed up in costume. But it was ultimately changed to a puppet on a green screen as the dog looked too goofy. And listen, whilst I appreciate the innovation with the puppet, it's not like this looks much better, I would imagine. Nonetheless, runners are amongst the fastest of xenomorphs, moving primarily on all fours, but as a result, they're less physically tough than drones. In terms of gestation, though, runners are nearly fully formed when born, unlike other xenomorphs. Aside from that, though, they're basically just a quadruped drone. That's not the only example of a xeno variant being born almost fully formed rather than having a chest burster stage, though, as the Deacon was similar.
This guy.
But to understand the Deacon, we need to talk about the Trilobite. The origin of the Trilobite traces back to Prometheus's mission to LV-223.
Wait a minute, hang on.
Was infected by the black goo.
Is this gonna show the birth scene? I really hope it doesn't show the. Oh my god. I really hope it doesn't.
Pathogen, he unknowingly impregnated the previously infertile Elizabeth Shaw, which made her pregnant. What was even more odd was how faster the fetus was growing inside. Within the space of just 10 hours, Shaw was already 3 months pregnant. Eventually, she managed to remove the creature from the body.
Great.
The creature, it wasn't for long, as these creatures are far larger than your typical facehugger, and you'll soon learn why. Because when Shaw releases the grown and much larger Trilobite to fight the Engineer, it successfully subdues and impregnates the 9-foot superhuman, leading to the birth of the Deacon, after which the Trilobite dies. Now, little is really known about the Deacon, other than it shares resemblances to the Xenomorph with an extendable jaw inspired by a real-life goblin shark. That being said, there is a comic which follows up on what happened to it 126 years later. However, as the comic features a predator, it's technically not canon, but I'll be honest, it's the only closure we're ever probably gonna get on this creature, so it is what it is. In 2219, the crew of the vessel Gurion landed on LV-223.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 40
for a salvage mission and discovered a mountain which they thought contained a human beacon. However, it was actually the Deacon that had grown around the ruins of the Prometheus, becoming a living, motionless mountain. No wonder the Trilobite
I was right.
so
I remembered it right.
As the Deacons grow to become literal mountains. However, the Deacon isn't the only species we've seen that have a very close resemblance to the Xenomorphs, bringing us nicely into Bloodburster. Its life cycle begins with a fungal-like egg sac found on Planet 4. This was thanks to David nuking it with the black goo pathogen, creating a totally alien and mutated ecosystem. Nonetheless, similar to an ovomorph, when an egg sac is disturbed, it releases spore-like motes that form an airborne mass. These have a basic hive-like intelligence and infect the nearest host by entering through any orifice it can. From there, the notes will gestate and mutate inside of the host before becoming a bloodburster. This is the infant form of a neomorph, and like the Deacon, is born almost fully formed. Moreover, the birthing process follows
it shows it.
You'd find
There you go. That's a neomorph.
It's more versatile in how it can actually escape the host's body. It's shown that it can crawl out from pretty much anywhere, be it back or even mouth. Once it's succeeded in doing that, the small quadrupedal creature is capable of defending itself immediately, as we saw it kill Orum, as well as survive a gunshot by Faris and the subsequent explosion of their dropship that followed. Like the Xenomorph, the Bloodburster inherits traits from its host and also exhibits characteristics based on how it emerges. For example, the Bloodburster that bursts from Ledwood's spine had dorsal fins, whilst the one that emerged from Hallett's mouth did not, but did have more translucent, shiny skin. That being said, these dangerous creatures won't stay small for long, as they too grow incredibly fast, soon becoming a fully grown neomorph. They have a fleshy, spiked tail for slashing and battering. However, unlike xenomorphs, neomorphs lack the inner jaw and instead have a mouth much more in line with the deacon, albeit their jaw is incredibly flexible, opening very wide. Their jaws are also almost completely invisible when shut with no lips. It's honestly quite terrifying. But another difference when compared to a typical xenomorph is their more organic appearance, lacking the xeno's biomechanical mesoskeleton. Behaviorally, neomorphs are also more feral and animalistic than xenomorphs, attacking anything in sight. They also show more of a need to feed on flesh to survive, unlike xenomorphs, which consume their kills less frequently and instead prioritize kidnapping their prey for the queen. Neomorphs do still have a very specific purpose, however, as David explained that the black goo was designed by the engineers to create hybrid creatures like the neomorph, which would instinctively hunt down and kill all non-botanical life in an ecosystem. This is why it didn't attack David, as he was a synthetic being rather than an organic one. That being said, the neomorph had previously bitten and melted off Walter's arm in self-defense. Neomorphs, however, have also shown a weakness, and that is bright light. As when David launched a flare into the sky, the neomorphs quickly ran away, dropping what they were doing on the spot. However, this brings us onto the royal facehugger, also known as the queen facehugger.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one from Alien 3.
The royal facehugger can implant an embryonic queen into the host. The reason for this is theorized by Bishop in the novelization for Aliens to be due to the introduction of a substance called royal jelly in the ovomorph stage, similar to how bees do the same to create queens. But that's not all, as a royal facehugger can also implant a second embryo, typically a regular xenomorph, to serve as a guardian for the infant queen. As a result, it can impregnate two separate hosts before it dies. This is why Ripley was impregnated with the queen upon the Sulaco during her hypersleep, before it then attacked the Ox on Fiorina Fury 161, birthing the Runner. Because of this, royal facehuggers are larger and more armored than their regular counterparts. They've got a bladed tail and webbed digits, all to help them protect the precious queen embryo. Now, some of you may have never seen this thing in your life, and that's because it only made a very brief appearance on screen in the special edition.
Yeah, that thing was freaking huge.
Did you ever open one of my emails and think, oh no?
No.
Lie.
Edition of Alien 3. It did, however, also appear in the novel Alien Sea of Sorrows. But this, of course, brings us onto the Queen herself, because she isn't just any member of the species, she's the mother and leader of the entire hive. A queen is more than double the size of your average xenomorph, and a force to be reckoned with. As a result, even her inner jaw reaches the size of a human head. But despite her combat abilities, she usually stays within the hive, ensuring her species' survival by laying
This was also the first one, the queen was the first one to have like the bladed tail.
In spite of this, queens
or like the
have
tail
more
with like the
defense than
big
Xenos
blade
we've
on
covered
it.
so far in this video, as their large, armored, crown-like carapaces allow her to withdraw her face and mouth as a means of protection, similar to a turtle. In fact, a queen's outer mesoskeleton is so resilient it's even capable of repelling sustained automatic gunfire, although it remains vulnerable to armor-piercing ammunition. There's more to it than that though, as queens are incredibly intelligent, capable of issuing commands, solving problems, and even recognizing threats, as seen when the queen on LV-426 backed off after Ellen Ripley threatened her eggs. She's a sneaky bitch too though, as the queen even somehow latched onto the belly of Ripley's ship and escaped LV-426 with her. She even managed to get the Queen Overmorph on board. Again, somehow. But honestly, the less we question the logistics of all this, the better. And whilst not really considered entirely canon, the Aliens Earth Hive novel featured a queen taking an IQ test of sorts, which came back with a score of 175. That's above even Albert Einstein's.
Damn.
Nonetheless, this advanced intellect also allows her to communicate with her hive in ways that scientists still don't fully understand. It's believed she uses pheromones, ultrasound, or even some form of bioelectrical signal. The crown on her head is also thought to serve as a form of sensory antenna, allowing the queen to detect thermal, biochemical, and bioelectrical signals with great sensitivity. Now, queens in their egg-laying stage are distinguished by their massive ovipositor, which can extend up to 12 meters and is typically suspended from the hive ceiling. In this state, she rests on a biomechanical throne and can lay up to 15 eggs per hour. Because of this, though, the queen becomes immobile unless a bad bitch like Ripley leaves you tweaking. Because as seen in Aliens, a queen can painfully detach from her ovipositor to escape. Fortunately though, they can regrow a new one, though the process is very painful. There is, however, a version of the queen with
Oh my god, this
mutations
fucking
gave
one.
her an entirely new way of reproducing. That was the queen that spawned from the cloning of Ripley. Much like how Ripley 8 adopted xenomorph aspects like the acidic blood, the queen adopted a human reproductive system which allowed her to give birth to full live xenos rather than just laying eggs. This allowed her to give birth to one of the most disturbing creatures in the entire Alien franchise.
Newborn!
The newborn. A mutant human xenomorph hybrid. As a result, it was much more humanoid than any other xenomorph, standing about twice the size of a standard warrior. It had pale, fleshy skin, a shorter, more human-like skull, and even eyes, a nose, and a mouth. It also had no tail, inner jaw, or any biomechanical features. But what really set the newborn apart was its ability to feel emotions such as curiosity, anger, affection, and even sorrow. Despite this, the newborn was psychologically immature and literally childlike, often playing with the remains of its victims in a cruel, innocent way. But here's the thing, the newborn didn't see the queen as its mother.
Right, it saw Ripley as.
Ripley A to search. And I mean, who can blame them? She is mother. In spite of this, the creature's tragic end came when Ripley 8 used her acidic blood to blow a small hole in the
I have to ban another Twitch bot. That's so annoying.
Into space. And even all these years later, I think we can
so
all
annoying.
admit that this has to be one of the most gruesome deaths in cinema history, right? I mean, am I missing anyone? Let me know down below. From a xenomorph who slaughtered their queen to one built purposefully to serve and protect the hive. I'm talking about the Praetorian Xenomorph.
Oh yeah, these guys were from
makes
the
them
video
so
games.
unique? Well, standing over 10 feet tall, these beasts are giants among Xenos, with distinctive large armored head crests that they can use to charge and ram at their enemies. Despite their size, Praetorians are incredibly fast and agile, though they can't scale walls or ceilings like their smaller counterparts. However, they are one of the most deadly types of Xeno, as their skin is so thick it can even be bulletproof, and they're known to spit large quantities of acid, combined with their sharp claws and blade-tipped tails. Furthermore, Praetorians are not just brawn, they're also smarter and more cunning than a regular Xenomorph. They don't rely on stealth because, well, they don't need to. Their sheer strength allows them to charge headfirst into battle, taking down entire squads of Marines. They also have the ability to command over Xenomorphs, emitting a deafening screech that can call for backup. But if you manage to kill one, then it can disorientate.
Yeah, Praetorians are like the mid stage, right? So that's like what the.
That being said, what actually makes a
So that's like what the Predalien was in AVP R, in AVP Requiem, that dog shit movie. The Predalien was like an immature queen. I'm pretty sure like Praetorians are supposed to be like young queens. I'm pretty sure.
Praetorian. Well, when a xenomorph hive grows past 300 individuals, the queen starts selecting.
He said 300, but he wrote down 3,000.
These chosen few are then fed royal jelly, triggering a transformation. This, however, is only step one, as from there, the chosen Praetorian must prove its worth. You see, during the change, they produce a pheromone that makes the rest of the hive turn on them. Most don't survive this process, but those who do become even stronger. Thus, after emerging as the victor, the new Praetorian returns to the hive ready to take its place beside the queen. That being said, there is another xenotype very similar to the Praetorian, and that is their cousins, the Crushers. They adopt many of the extra abilities of the Praetorians, but are instead the final evolution of the Runners, thus operate on all four legs. Their role amongst the hive is a purely defensive one, as this beast is the xenomorph equivalent of a tank, designed to charge headfirst into battle with the devastating force of their enormous armored head crest. However, this does come with a drawback, because whilst charging, the Crusher is virtually blind and unable to change direction. From a very immobile beast, though, to one who can't stop hopping all around the place. I'm talking about the Prowler. These agile and
so
deadly
these are
creatures will hide
okay. So now
around
he's starting to
dark
talk about the
corners.
ones from like from whatever that new game is that I don't remember the name of.
waiting for its prey before then pouncing.
Wasn't it
From
like
there,
Fire
well,
Team or something? That
it's
kind of
GG,
sucks.
as they're gonna tear you to shreds. Visually, they resemble the runners as they also emerge from animal hosts, but their sleek black mesoskeletons are highlighted with rich reddish accents, as well as a noticeable head crest and a bladed tail. A prowler isn't the only four-legged Xeno variant though, as there's also what's known as a spitter. They're designed for long-range attacks, as their main weapon is the ability to fire large quantities of acid across long distances, basically like a sniper. But wait, it actually gets worse. There's also a variant known as the irradiated spitter. These spitters have been exposed to toxic materials like those found in the Weyland-Yutani excavation sites on LV-895, and as a result of this, they are larger, stronger, and more resilient.
I don't know,
Similarly,
actually.
there's the Xenoburster.
See, I heard that Fire Team was not good. Hang on. Was it good? Okay, 9 out of 10. Okay. I was wrong. Alright. For some reason, I heard somewhere, I thought somebody said that it was terrible, but I don't know.
Whose body is covered in acidic growths, which they can detonate to create a large acidic explosion that also leaves behind a deadly pool of their corrosive
Oh my god.
But of course, one of the main reasons there are so many variants of xenomorphs is thanks to none other than Weyland-Yutani. One example of this stems from the research team upon Pala Station. They were experimenting on overmorphs by injecting them with strains of the black goo, which resulted in multiple mutated xenomorphs. They then tested 11 of the facehuggers on criminals with life sentences, 2 of which came out completely normal, whereas 5 other Xenos had an extra set of arms. But then there were 2 more, one of which was a more humanoid white xenomorph named Seven. They had intelligence far beyond that of a normal drone, and even exhibited the ability to command other xenomorphs, much like a queen, though at a much smaller level. Interestingly, this power was hypothesized by Dr. Mark Cruz, one of the onboard scientists, to have developed due to the absence of a queen on the station. Dr. Cruz even felt a buzzing sensation in his head, as if Seven was trying to communicate telepathically. Something that set her apart from other influential Xenos, though, is that she could even communicate with other creatures, ones mutated by the black goo, like the Leon 895, which was a large alien cat that had been infected by the pathogen. When Seven was threatened, the other xenomorphs even responded aggressively, a clear sign of the power and influence that it had gained. In the end, though, after a huge battle upon Pala Station, Seven ultimately burned to death, but not before taking down multiple other humans with it. One of the other Xenos under Seven's command, however, was Monica. Born from a notorious serial killer, this xenomorph became one of the most dangerous and aggressive drones ever encountered. She was
Would this make you buy a Ridge wallet? 2 people.
She was more dangerous than a YouTube ad.
A Hennessy Velociraptor.
physically distinct with dark leathery skin marked by unusual grey striping and visible eye sockets, a result of the mutation from the black goo.
That is something that is something that I really like about like the earlier concept art for the xenomorph, and even some canon appearances. The xenomorphs still have like their skull like visible underneath the dome, which was just like, you know, and then you see stuff like that, which is so creepy, but it's so cool.
Eye sockets, a result of the mutation from the black goo pathogen. Not only was Monica larger and more aggressive than your typical drones, but it was also highly resilient, capable of withstanding heavy gunfire. After surviving on Pala Station, she followed her ex-boyfriend Dr. Honecker to the Katanga refinery, where she spent nearly 2 weeks hunting him down before ultimately meeting her end to colonial marine reinforcements. On the topic of xeno variants grown in a lab though, we've got the Necromorph. This mutated xenomorph wreaked havoc at the V-22 testing facility on Jericho 3. What made it so special was that it carried a deadly viral form of cellular necrosis which it had adopted from its sick host. This disease turned the Necromorph into a grotesque figure, covered in cuts and spots that could explode,
Jesus Christ.
spraying molecular acid.
What was this one from? Was this from a book?
This, the creature was in constant pain, torn between its instinct to find new hosts and build a hive, and its urge to spread this deadly disease. Anyone unfortunate enough to be infected with such a disease would be sent to an instant death sentence, as it would then spread like wildfire. Furthermore, despite being killed by Zula Hendrix, the necromorph showed capabilities of solo reproduction, as it had laid an egg without anybody knowing, which is a rare skill amongst xenomorphs known as egg morphing. But no brainiac has ever crafted a xenomorph quite like David. Now, originally, Ridley Scott intended for David to be the sole creator of the xenomorph. However, many things have come out afterwards that have since sent this plot point to the Shadow Realm, and honestly, rightfully so. That being said, David did create the Praetomorph. Now,
Yeah, this thing.
is the difference? Well, by using the black goo pathogen and samples from various species, including neomorphs and Elizabeth Shaw, David's twisted experiments culminated in the creation of this intermediary stage of the Xeno. Now, the first major difference comes in its design, as the Praetomorph lacks the usual biomechanical mesoskeleton. Another big difference is their birthing process. Whilst originating in an ovomorph with a facehugger, the chest burster is very different. Known as an imp, it was born with fully formed limbs and evolved into its full size faster than nearly any other xenomorph, other than a very special one we yet to talk about, which was revealed in Romulus. However, as this was a genetically engineered species, there was no queen. That being said, David knew that this would be the next evolutionary step. Thus, he planned to use Daniels to create one. Nonetheless, the Praetomorph has some incredible abilities which you probably didn't know about, which potentially makes them even more frightening than the usual xenomorph. To begin with, they are more resilient. In fact, resilient doesn't even begin to cut it. During Ridley Scott's director commentary of Alien Covenant, he claimed how the Praetomorph is capable of regenerating from usually fatal injuries such as being torn apart or even crushed. This means that, theoretically, the Praetomorph crushed in the crane which Daniels killed would eventually regenerate back to life. What lets the Praetomorph down, however, despite being physically superior to a Xeno, is that they lack the intelligence of its species, exemplified when
those ones are more like animals,
acting solely on rageful animalistic instincts. Now, as time went on, more and more Xenos had been captured by Weyland-Yutani, with subsequent genetic modifications making themselves more present, one of which being the Alpha. This hulking creature had a massive curved head crest resembling goat horns thanks to its unique DNA. You see, it was a blend of human DNA and the Corker and Highland goat. The unique story behind the Alpha stems from when Weyland-Yutani Defense Agency...
Bruh. Is this a freaking Uber ad? Oh my god.
When it's not always raining. Agent Gabriel Cruz and his squad were sent to investigate a livestock and freight ship. The goats on board had already been turned into Xeno hosts, with Cruz's crew following suit soon after, as they had been captured and strung up inside the hive. However, Cruz's chest burster had been surgically removed 2 minutes before it was ready to, well, burst out. The survival of this procedure is also what gave him the constant nightmares of the goddess which we mentioned earlier. Nonetheless, after some time, the Alpha broke free and caused chaos aboard Epsilon Station. Eventually, the only way to kill this beast was for Cruz to sacrifice himself and take the Xeno with him into space, burning up like a fireball as they plummeted down to a nearby planet. Now, this next xenomorph, whilst looking like your regular-ass alien, is much more deadly. This is the Icarus strain of xenomorphs. Icarus was a selective breeding program set up by Weyland-Yutani, where they would inject the human genome into ovomorphs before then selecting specific hosts based on prerequisite strengths and immunities. As a result, these xenomorphs exhibited human-like emotions and intelligence, making them not just a perfect predator, but sadistic and cruel beings who killed for fun. They would even leave behind human body parts to haunt other survivors, as opposed to collecting hosts and building a hive.
Jesus.
From the Icarus strain, however, and onto the Prometheus strain, aka Z01. This was something being tested upon in the Romulus lab aboard the Renaissance station. It was reverse engineered from the original big chap which Ripley thought she had killed. However, when they found the fossilized being, they learned this wasn't the case. However, they hoped to extract the black goo pathogen from its DNA and try and turn humanity into the perfect organism that could live all across space. One of the key things it was planned to do
I wonder how
was bring
that
the
turned
dead
out.
back to life using the pathogen's unique ability to rewrite a host's DNA. It worked by stripping the host's DNA back to its original state before then rebuilding it again. However, it was not yet perfected and would still turn them into part xenomorph. Nonetheless, the onboard synthetic, Rook, chose to keep that part of the information to himself when handing Tyler the injection with the so-called cure inside. Eventually, a pregnant woman named Kay, who was on her last legs, injected herself with it. Bad move. This gave birth to one of the most disturbing hybrids in all of the Alien franchise, the Offspring. It wasn't your typical xenomorph human hybrid, as it's pretty clear that there was another third species integrated, and that was the Engineers. Because whilst having some of the biomechanical elements of a xeno, its tail and even an inner jaw, the milky white skin, bald head and pitch black eyes are all characteristics famously seen on humanity's creator. And the reason for this is exactly that. Because humans and engineered DNA is virtually identical, when the Prometheus strain infected Kay's baby, deconstructed its DNA back to that of humanity's creators, the Engineers. You see, the director for Alien Romulus, Fede Alvarez, stated how black goo is the root of the whole thing that was introduced in Prometheus. It's the root of all life, but also particularly the xenomorphs come out of that thing, which means it has to be inside of them. It's the xenomorphs' semen almost. So we thought if it affects your DNA, and the Engineers clearly came out of that same root of life, it made complete sense to me that the offspring of a human and a xenomorph was going to look like that. However, because it was imperfect, during its rebuilding process, the xeno elements kicked in. From there, the young baby was born inside an egg with acid inside, much like an ovomorph. The crazy thing is how this creature grew faster than any xenomorph ever. We're talking like a matter of minutes at max for the offspring to go from a cooing little baby to a giant genetic abomination searching for its mother to breastfeed from. And yes, I said breastfeed. You see, after giving birth to it, Kay's body began secreting a sticky, black goo-esque substance which the offspring fed on using its inner jaw until she died. Knowing all of the genetic monstrosities the black goo has been seen to create, be it on humans or even alien space cats, what would happen if already fully formed xenomorphs were to be exposed to it? Well, on the planet LV-895, deep within an ancient engineer temple, they found out. It gave birth to a pale white alteration of the creatures which entered into a brutal territorial war with regular xenos, with both battling it out to earn the title of the perfect organism. That being said, it was the pathogen xenomorphs which would almost always come out on top. So let's explore why. Beginning with the base pathogen runner. These are very similar to their black counterpart, with these mutations retaining acidic blood, although it was now white in colour. That being said, they do lack the inner jaw and instead have mandibles like a yautja. Physically, they're built different as well, as a simple pathogen runner is strong enough to even tear apart a xeno crusher. Likewise, there's the pathogen brute, born from a typical xenomorph drone. This beast lacked the bladed tail and hands and instead featured an incredibly powerful club-like appendage. And lastly is their queen. She had no way of reproducing like a standard queen, thus was much more hostile and protective of her hive, as she would literally be fighting for her species' survival. As a result, the pathogen queen grew an extra carapace to act as an extra form of heavy defense. Furthermore, her offensive capabilities were improved too. She had tusks around her mouth, whilst her tail and dorsal spines sprouted sharp quills, which she could fire at anyone who threatened her hive from long
like
distances.
a manticore.
Her right
That's
arm
really
had
cool.
also adopted a similar club-like appendage as the brute, which she could use to bludgeon others. Last but not least, she could also violently spit large pools of acid at threats. Nonetheless, she was eventually killed by a colonial marine fire team, ultimately sending the rest of the pathogen xenomorphs into complete extinction. But up next is the smallest xenohybrid.
But wait, there's
on
more.
this list, and that is the tuber alien. On the planet Eurydice were these small creatures which lived predominantly underground. However, once the local xenomorphs created a hive, they also turned the tubers into a host source, subsequently birthing small xenomorphs which could bury underground like a mole. This wasn't the only example of xenomorphs combining with other alien life forms though, as the xenos on the icy moon of Casito entered into a large and long territorial war against the winter beasts.
What the fuck?
During the war, the queen sent out facehuggers which ultimately used these winter beasts as hosts. The resulting xenos, however, fought against the black xenomorphs, choosing to side with the winter beasts. Now, in the concept stages, these creatures creatures were actually known as submorphs. Nonetheless, their war raged on for years after subsequently being buried deep under ice and water, thanks to Weyland-Yutani digging them up again. Now, the submorphs showed to be well acquainted at fighting regular Xenos, as they were typically larger with a horned cranium and tusked chin. Eventually, though, their war never gave birth to a victor, as the moon was ultimately nuked from orbit. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. Click this.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, alright. There you have it, chat. There's 1.5 million different xenomorphs. Alright. Alright. So how are we, chat? Are we enlightened? Are we enlightened on the now, what is that, 30 different species of xenomorphs, apparently? Even though, like, I'm pretty sure half of those technically weren't canon, but whatever. Yeah, very informative. But I still remain adamant in my knowledge that what I mentioned earlier. I'm 99% sure that how the weird canon stuff, it's really weird, but I'm still 99% sure. I just said Master Chief, that's real. That, like, how it is that Alien is canon to Predator, but Predator is not canon to Alien. Therefore, so all the AVP stuff is not canon to the Alien movies, but is canon to the Predator movies. I'm such a nerd. That's valid. Me too, kind of. I used to love, like, the Alien and the Predator stuff back in the day. I kind of fell out of it for a little while. I'm kind of getting a little bit back into it, I think. I don't know, not really, but, like, kind of, I guess. Kind of, a little bit, sort of, not really. I guess I'm more just, like, observing from the sidelines, kind of just seeing what's going on with it, rather than, like, fully, like, getting into it, I guess. My dad, yeah, dude, hell yeah. My dad watched the original 3 Alien movies, and he loved them. And then me and my sibling dragged him with us to watch Alien Covenant and The Predator when those movies came out. And we were all like, yeah, those weren't as good as the other ones. Yeah, it's very, very good. I mean, they're popular for a reason. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. They're definitely popular for a reason. Who is pinging me? Reply to like 1 million different messages. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so there's a game that I used to play. It's called Predator Hunting Grounds. It's like Dead by Daylight but Predator. It's a shitty game. It's pretty dog shit. Not because of just the game. It's just because it's dead, and the devs don't do anything with it. So they kind of just left it to die after it first came out. Like, all they do now is like release like cosmetics for it. That's like the only thing that they do with it now. And it's, yeah, that's the only thing. There's no quality of life updates, there's no buffs, there's no nerfs, there's no patch updates, there's nothing. It's just like, it's occasional bug fixes and like cosmetic stuff that costs money. So it's a little upsetting how they've kind of just left it to die. Objectively speaking, it is a pretty cool game, and the concept is amazing. Oh, I should probably... Yeah. The concept is amazing, but it's just really not interesting, I guess. It's just really not that fun of a game. The more fun alternative is the AVP game from I think it's 2010. Let me look. Is this 2010? Yep, February 16th, 2010. This is one of the best video games I have ever played. And it even had like a multiplayer too, which is where you could do like, you could be a predator or a xenomorph or a colonial marine, and they had campaigns for all three of them, and it was so cool. Yeah, no tummy because I don't want to get banned. Especially because below the tummy is not much is left to the imagination. Actually, you know what? That's a good segue because that is gonna change pretty soon, chat. I think I mentioned it before, but there's some pretty cool stuff happening. And I'm very excited for y'all to see it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so cool. There's gonna be a whole stream dedicated to it and everything. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. I'm not gonna say much more than that. I'm sure you can figure it out. But yeah. So that'll be cool. I don't know. I don't really have a date for that yet. Hey Barracuda, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? We're hanging out. We just watched a video about xenomorphs, and we were just ranking xenomorphs and predators on a tier list. And now we're just hanging out for a little while. But yeah, man. Oh, so guys, Barracuda, you were here for this. Do you remember way back in middle school when I was like obsessed with like the Predator and Alien shit? Do you remember that? Do you remember that shit, man? Do you remember that phase that I had? That was, God, those were the days, huh? Those were the fucking days. Yup, you do remember it. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I was obsessed with that shit. I was obsessed with that shit, man. That was like my autism moment. Like my hyper fixation was that shit. Cause it was so cool to me back then. And then I kind of just like forgot about it for like years. Oh man. Oh man, dude. Oh gosh. Yeah, holy shit. I think that was middle school. Yeah, that was middle school. I think that was 7th grade. I think it was 7th. Because then in 8th grade, I just got all depressed. I just got really depressed. Oh, man. Those were the freaking days, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap. Then you mention Alien Earth. Yep. Yeah, dude. Oh man. I'm so happy that like they're still getting like movies and shows made of them. Have you guys seen Killer of Killers? Has anyone in chat seen Killer of Killers? It was a movie. It was a Predator movie that came out on Hulu. I think it was exclusively on. Or no. Yeah, it was Hulu. It was Hulu, and it was animated. It was animated by the same studio. I don't remember. Hang on. It was Fortiche. I think that's how you pronounce it. Fortiche Studio. The same people that made Arcane, or the same people that animated Arcane. It's that same studio, and it's really cool. I originally thought it was supposed to be a show. Like, I feel like it was supposed to be a show at first, but then they just kind of like merged it all into a movie. Yeah, so it's 3 different time periods. There's 3 different like main like stories, right? So it's like World War II, it's like feudal Japan, and it's like Vikings. And then those 3 converge, and then it's like a whole thing. That I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's really cool. I feel like it could have probably been a show, honestly. But it's whatever. I'm also really excited for the new Predator movie that's coming out though. It's called Badlands. Have you guys seen the trailer for that? If not, we can watch it on stream right now because it is really cool. It is such a cool trailer. It is so cool, dude. I know a lot of people were clowning on some of the effects, but yeah, it looks really cool. Actually, yeah, let's tell you what, let's watch the trailer right now. Let me just hang on. Is this hang on, I just need to check to make sure this is the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Okay. Alright, chat. Let's watch this trailer. This is a really cool trailer. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm just gonna like open this in YouTube. Okay, here you are. Do you wanna work? Do you wanna work, please? Thank you. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Bruh. God damn it. Why are you not working? Okay. Are you gonna work? God, this is annoying. Come on. Bruh. I literally just fixed this. Why are you not working? Oh my god. That's Spotify. Hello. What the shit? There we go. Oh my god. Alright, here we go. Alright, chat. Actually, is this... Sure, fuck it. Alright, chat. Watch this shit. Check this out. So this chick is in, yeah, synthetic.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
This is really cool.
You're after a creature that can't be killed. The definitive apex predator. I could help you. Well, good luck with your journey.
I am very excited for this movie. I really am.
Here, you're not the predator.
Ooh.
You're the prey.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We might not be alone in this hunt.
That it looks really awesome. I'm really excited for that. Scary alien. Yeah, man. It's like the Youngblood idea from AVP, but done right. But done right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Alright, chat. I think that's probably where I think we're gonna call it a night. I do have to wake up a little early for work tomorrow, sadly. But I'm gonna make the schedule tonight. We're gonna publish it tonight. That'll go through the week. I think, if I remember correctly, the plan is Alien Isolation, probably? And then we'll go from there. Yeah, sadly. If I didn't work tomorrow, then I would go for a little while longer, but... Oh my god, it's 11:11, make a wish! Sorry, I'm superstitious like that. I'm weird. Alright, guys. Yep, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Barracuda, thanks for popping in for the last few minutes. Good to see you. If you are over on YouTube, make sure to like the stream on your way out. Really helps out. And if you're on Twitch, why not drop a follow on your way out? Really helps a lot. It really helps out too. Either way, I will catch you guys tomorrow. There will be stream tomorrow. I know that much. So look forward to that. We'll be starting Alien Isolation. 7:30, 7:45-ish, probably something like that. But yeah, and I can't wait. Apparently that game is terrifying. So we'll see how that is. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I can survive the alien. But yeah, until then, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your nights, afternoon, evening, morning, whatever type of day it is for you. And I will catch you next time. Good night.